Wow, thank you.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool.
So which one are we doing? The Jedi Master one or the early one? Or go for the Jedi Master one and then let it grow to the other one?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because then you got both. Yeah, do it proper. Luke Skywalker here. Cool. Come this way. Oh yeah, better print off that picture.
So you have it.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go.
So you want the print over a bit longer and just sweep it over, or do you want to like up to there? Yeah, I was thinking. It's gonna sweep over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Which is probably like right over there. Yeah, with deepfake these days, you can just redo everything.
Mm.
But they have to, I don't know, they have to redo Luke Skywalker, that character. Because they destroyed him in whatever that movie was. I didn't want to talk about that movie. Just destroyed him.
Rise of, no,
Yeah.
I can't remember the last Jedi.
No.
No.
That was the Rise of, I don't know what it was. Yeah, it was just destroyed. So I just blocked out all of that. Here we go. Hello. Hi, how are you? Good. So yeah, you found it. Yeah, cool. Matthew. Come on in and hang out. You can actually grab this one if you want. Make yourself at home. She's getting Luke Skywalker haircut for fun, so which means we're cutting off a lot. Yeah. So yeah, that would be like middle of the year. The shape of it. Are you a dancer, or was that just your name?
That's just
Just in your name. Yeah, I was just wondering. Because I've done hair for dancers in the past, and it's like, you know, you can do amazing hair that works with it, but... So what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
5.
Which was... Yeah,
Empire
mine too.
Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, yeah, mine too. I like Empire Strikes Back. And you know what, for whatever reason, I really like Rogue One.
Oh,
Yeah, and some people don't. Which is fine. But it just captured my childhood because it's like, you grew up with, so many people died trying to get these Death Star plans, so you grew up with that. So it kind of filled that void in, you know, kind of
yeah, a
with
little
that.
bit.
And,
'Cause
yeah.
when the original movie came out, I imagine everyone was like, well, where were they?
Yeah, because the original movie started with episode 4.
Yeah.
So you're like, so they talk about, the Clone Wars and your father's lightsaber and this and that, and you're like, that was all left to your imagination, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they filled it in with that. But the last scene of that was Darth Vader, you know, and with the right, that blew my mind. So.
Yeah, like I think like episode 5 just has like the best locations. Like
Yeah.
they're not walking around a Death Star, but they've got like
Yep.
rummy big, what do you call it, the Star Destroyers.
Yep.
And more Darth Vader choking.
Yeah, lots of that. Because everything is in disarray. And, you know, Darth Vader's left to clean up all the mess, put out all the fires. And he's frustrated. He's like, yeah, I love it.
Is that when he calls in all the bounty hunters?
Yep, calls in all the
Yeah,
bounty
yeah.
hunters. And then we see all these mystical dudes, like, you know.
Swamp Thing, robot, and guy that everyone loves, but there wasn't anything about him at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that robot thing with the big pointy head. They ended up using him in Mandalorian as well.
I think they did well with that, with reintroducing those like kind of weirder characters.
Yep. But that's why I like Mandalorian. They brought back a lot of things that were just kind of introduced and then, you know, disappeared. Like even the Stormtrooper troop transport that pulled up, you know, jumping out. Because I had that toy when I was a kid. And that toy was something the toy manufacturer made that was not in any movie. And it was just like, oh yeah, cool, it's a Stormtrooper troop transport. But it was never in any of the movies or anything like that. So the Mandalorian, what they do is they're like, oh yeah, this is an old toy that everyone used to play with. Let's put it in the Mandalorian. And then I saw it pulled up. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's my old toy! They made it into the Mandalorian. So then I get all excited. How are you for time?
I do something around 1.
Okay, yeah, it won't be long. I'll just do a bit more of this haircut and then we'll have a little talk for a minute. Yeah, just chill out for a minute. Let's do a quick talk. Oh yeah, you can see this already. It's all coming into shape. And it suits you. I'll turn you off a second. She did find us after all. You know, I guess she's German, so she was preparing ahead. It wasn't that she went to the office. She was, those Germans are good preparers. They're the best preparers. So they had an actor do Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian, and then they did that. What's
Yeah, so they had like a base person.
Or base
as,
person, yeah.
Like the main important thing for like the height
Yes.
and stuff like how like the neck,
Yeah.
and they did his hair over top as well.
Yeah. And they did the same in what's it called? Rogue One with Princess Leia.
So that was different.
No, that was 3D modeling.
Yeah, so they built that person from scratch.
Right.
But the thing that makes it look so strange is it's really hard to get
Yeah.
the pores stretching to look like a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because, like, I don't know, I think the Luke Skywalker looks a lot better just because they're using something that takes, like, images that already exist.
Yeah.
And so they get that information, like, what it looks like when he, like, squints, when he's angry, when he's happy.
Which is good. It means we have decades of Luke Skywalker to go, even if Mark Hamill can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it means it's not going. The character's not going to go anywhere. And I'm sure Mark Hamill will be humble, knowing that, because I know he's angry with the way it turned out.
Yeah.
But there's also the potential of just ignoring that movie altogether and doing, you know, we'll see how it goes, because Kathleen Kennedy has a lot to answer for,
Yeah.
as we know.
No, one of the funniest things I ever saw was he was talking at a convention about the first time he read the episode 7 script.
Yeah.
And he thought the exact moment, there's this moment where a lightsaber starts to shake and then it's like coming out of the snow and he's like, oh, that's when I enter.
Yeah.
No. And then they're like, no, you're on an island. And you're gonna stare at the camera. No.
Yeah. A lot of that. Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's all about looking at the future now.
Yep.
And if we end up racing that whole last of the Skywalker saga, those 3 movies, you can race them completely.
Well, I'm more interested in sort of like the in-between period.
Yeah,
like
me as well.
Like that bit, that's the most interesting. Like I've been playing, I don't know if you know what, there's a video game which is all about that. And you're playing
Which one?
Fallen Order.
I have that one, yeah.
Yeah. I've been really
I just never get enough time to play it, but
Yeah.
I got
Very
Fallen
long.
Order. Yeah, I got Fallen Order. I got Squadrons, and I got the other one where the guy from Shameless, who's now a Jedi.
Oh. What's that?
The guy with the ginger hair. He's awesome.
Oh yeah, Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah. I'm playing this game. And I'm like, how do I know this character? And I'm like getting level 2, level 3, going and going. And I go, oh yeah, that's the kid from Shameless. Like, you realize how you know him? Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think he's not done much, but he's done that and the Gotham series.
Yep.
So nerds love him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, wow, he gave his likeness rights to Star Wars. How cool is that? Because then you can end up becoming action figures and shit. Like, how cool is that? Like, Star Wars wants your likeness, right? You're forever immortalized. Unless you're Carrie Fisher, because I think she sold her likeness rights for a pack of smokes or some shit like that. So therefore she got the wrong.
Yeah.
She got nothing for it, you know. It's just signed something, and I don't even think they gave her anything. Like, oh, do you want to sign that? She's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I think
She didn't know what she was signing.
in episode 5 you can see her cocaine nail.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, not surprised.
I'm surprised George Lucas hasn't gone through and done some magic to edit it out.
Nah, it's fine. It's all part of the art. It also grandfather calls it because it represents the time.
Yeah. And probably a bit of the truth behind it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
So funny. 'Cause
We don't want to erase too much of history.
No.
No. Fuck, you're starting to look like it. This is it. This is the Luke Skywalker
I'm loving
haircut.
it so
Yeah,
far.
me too. This is awesome. I love it on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, it's like the main cast is like Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
who was pretty fresh off of anything,
Yeah.
and then there's Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
who's he was a carpenter.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But he was in American Graffiti, and it was
Oh,
a hot
yeah.
rod guy. Yep.
Yeah.
And he wasn't necessarily going to be Han Solo, but he already knew George Lucas because, he was the carpenter, right?
Yeah.
But he was in American Graffiti, which was the film he did before
Yeah.
Star Wars.
How do you feel about the other George Lucas films?
I like American Graffiti.
Yeah.
What else did he do?
I can't remember remember the other one.
No, I really like the American
We
Graffiti.
did another sci-fi one, which I was pretty average about, but
Yeah. Well, he's not the best director in the world, but I really like American Graffiti. But that's because he's passionate about he's recreating his youth, his childhood.
yeah.
And so many people resonate with that. The people that resonate with American Graffiti are not necessarily Star Wars fans either.
No.
Like, I've been to a guy's retirement party, and he played that movie. Like, he, at the theater was all rented. He went to a big party, and then he wouldn't say what the movie was. And then he's like, okay, like, we're going to watch American Graffiti because I would like nothing more. It reminds him of his childhood and youth and all that stuff, right? Make sure I don't run a battery now. And so, yeah. So it just, and that guy's not a Star Wars fan. No.
It's just really funny because I
Yeah.
watched, there's this documentary called The People versus George Lucas.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like an investigation into like this fan base that like hates him but loves everything he makes.
Yeah, okay. Well, you don't have to like the person. How many
Yeah.
great artists are annoying? or like, like Jackson Pollock. Sure, some people like splatter art, but fuck, that guy was horrible.
Like I studied Andy Warhol a bit, and he
Andy
sounds
Warhol
like
was horrible too.
the most horrible person.
Yeah, he was horrible too. Some people like that kind of art, but I'm not a fan of Jackson Pollock or Andy Warhol.
No.
'Cause it's, well, they captured the time, right?
Yeah.
But as far as great art goes, it's debatable. But they did certainly capture the time, to represent the time. But yeah, Andy Warhol was just kind of like a pyramid scheme, the way he ruined his finances and screwed people over.
Yeah, because he's so strange. He had like so many cats in his house, and he only ate cornflakes, and he was just never slept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be awful to work with.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That's Luke Skywalker. I think we're pretty much there. Because imagine when those movies came out, everyone was going to the mall to get this haircut. They were literally, like the picture that you brought, that you have, literally they would take that to the mall. It's like, that's the haircut I want, yeah. And it would have been like, like half the high school or a quarter of the high school would have had that haircut. Idolizing their childhood hero. And here we are all these years later recreating that time. Because, Empire Strikes Back was 80, and then Return of the Jedi was 83. So 83, this is the haircut of 83. You channeling it? You feel the force?
Hold on, I've got to get that.
Yeah. You gotta get the right. Yeah, get the pose right. Yeah, exactly. Is that the scene? That's in the. Yeah, that's the last battle scene. Because also the one where he goes to Jabba's palace, because he's wearing his robes as well.
Oh, that's very great. I love just like the calm talk.
Yeah. I give you these gifts, these 2 droids.
What?
What? Aren't you playing again? Yeah, it's probably a little bit longer version of it, but I prefer a little bit longer than too clean cut. This just makes it a little more worn in. But yeah, I think we pretty much nailed that. I'm not going to thin it out or anything. That's just like raw, early 80s style cutting. And I don't want to do any like heavy part either, but just push it over the forehead. And just with fingers as well. Because, his hair was action-packed. I only try it much more than that. Got a little movie yet. There you go. Yeah. You love it?
Loving it.
Cool. And yeah, let's make the comparison, the final comparison. Yeah, I think we nailed it. That's awesome. Cool.